Yo, 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 welcome to another movie review. I'm Marlo. This is Buttered Popcorn. Today we're talking about Oddity. And I know I'm a little late on this, but it didn't really come out where I'm at until recently, and it was only showing in one theater. This is a film that when I saw the trailer, I thought, ooh, this could be the one. Like, this could be a really great horror film. And the trailer was great. It didn't give away too much, but it made you want to, like, oh, I gotta go see this. Being a huge horror fan, horror aficionado, I was excited. So this film, Oddity, is made by Damien McCarthy, and I think this is his second feature film. His first one is Caveat, which I haven't seen yet, and I definitely will see. But I'll say right off the bat, this film is amazing. I cannot wait to see it again. I can't wait to show it to everybody I know, my family and friends who love horror, because damn, it had everything. This film stars Carolyn Bracken, who plays Danny Timmons, and Darcy. So she plays two identical twin sisters or twin sisters. I don't know if they're identical. So Danny and Ted, husband and wife, they move into this old, like, castle, this stone house in the middle of nowhere in Ireland. And it's a beautiful place, but it reminds me of like a medieval castle. And they're renovating. So one night, Ted, the husband, he is working at this mental institution. He's a doctor, and he's out there working late nights. So Danny's sleeping by herself, and she's in this tent, and she's just kind of, they're renovating. So she's just kind of hanging out, and she goes out to her car looking for her phone. And when she gets back to her house, somebody knocks on the door, and she's like, who could it be, out here by myself? She opens, like, they have this kind of old wooden door, and it opens this slat, or I don't know what it is, but you can see the person, through this, like, little window almost.
Could you open the door?
What do you want?
You're in trouble.
What?
Would you just open the door? I am telling you that there is someone in there with you.
Obviously not going to let this psycho in, and he's probably playing mind games. Well, he wasn't. And there was someone in the house, and Danny gets murdered. And we cut to about a couple years later, and Ted, the husband, is now a widower, and Danny's is dead, and he goes to this weird antique oddity shop and goes to see Darcy, her sister, her twin sister. And Darcy is this medium, this psychic, and she's blind, and she wants to go to the house to see what happened, what really happened. And Ted is against it, but he kind of just plays along because apparently it's her death anniversary that's coming up. And he's against it, but he kind of says, okay, we'll do something. But, a couple days later, Darcy shows up at his house kind of unannounced and brings this, like, creepy old antique wooden man with her. And the story unfolds from there. And it is amazing. The story is brilliant. The way that we're taken into this mystery of what really happened to Danny. And Darcy is like this creepy medium who can sense spirits and is trying to figure it out. And then we have this wooden man that I'm sure you've seen in the trailers, and it's just there. I can't say enough good things about this film. From the way it's shot, like these wide shots with this kind of flat, dark lighting and a lot of shadows. And that's one thing that a lot of horror films, for me, especially newer horror films, they don't get right, is that it's always overlit. It's too bright. You can see everything, and darkness creates so much tension, creates so much fear just in our lives, right? When there's a dark attic, you turn on the light. That's the first thing you do. You know, you don't go down dark tunnels at night, right? And this film, the cinematographer really created that first layer of fear, of horror, just with the lighting, just with the wide shots where you're looking into the shadows and you don't know if you see something, but it's meant to be that way. Jump scares. In a horror movie, I love jump scares, but not to the point where they're cheap, right? There's some B horror movies or horror movies that just aren't as good, where the jump scares are just like they hit all the time, and by like the 10th one you're like, okay, we get it. You know, the guy's gonna open the fridge and there's gonna be someone behind, or someone's gonna jump out at it and you'd be like, hey. But they did jump scares in this film perfectly. The way they set them up, and they didn't use them too much. They didn't overuse jump scares, but it just added to that tension, that fear of what's going to happen, right? What is the darkness going to reveal to us? You know, there was a lot of real story here, real heart, you know, about loss and grieving and deception, and just, you know, a lot of real heart. And you felt bad for Darcy losing her sister and not knowing what's really going on. And the story is brilliant. It's so many twists and turns, and you don't know what's coming, but they give you enough for it to be like, okay, this makes sense, right? There's some films where they twist and they turn you and you're like, this doesn't fucking make sense. But Oddity, it's all great. And we get taken down this, you know, this fucking scary path of this murder and the spirits and everything in this wooden man. And I want to talk about this wooden man because it's such a brilliant story. Like, it's such, this wooden man is just such a brilliant, like, prop. And it's there in the house, just sitting, not moving, but it looks so creepy, and you're just waiting, right? It adds to that fear. It adds to that brilliant pacing that a horror film, a thriller, a suspense film needs, where you're like, something's going to happen. Like, when is it going to happen? And what is going to happen? So, yeah, it was just brilliant. The ending, I will say something, I'm not going to spoil it, but the ending could have been done a little better in terms of the scare factor. But I'm not going to ruin it. I think the direction it went was perfect, but the execution just maybe wasn't there. I think it needed a little more. The acting was amazing. Carolyn Bracken was so good. At first, I actually didn't realize that they were the same person, which is stupid, right? But she was so good at playing both characters that I was like, wow, they just got another actor, or they were actually twins or something. But I realized it after, like, oh, that's actually the same woman. The acting was great, and the creepy guy with the glass eye was amazing. So to wrap it all up, I love this film. I recommend to go see it in theaters. You know, I'm gonna probably buy it on Blu-ray. Like, this is one of the ones, right? This is probably my favorite film of 2024. I just loved it. Like, go see it. So let me know in the comments if you've seen it, what you thought. Let me know what your favorite horror movie of 2024 is. Anyways, that's a review. Thank you. Peace.